Good morning and welcome to the SHAC. My name's Barbara Gray from Clarity here in the UK, and it's Monday, and as usual at 10 o'clock we get together and we do some doodling. So come on in and then we'll crack on. I'm on chamomile tea today. Have you had a good weekend? Did you enjoy yourselves? Paul is in the building, I think, with your good selves. He says, brilliant. Not sure what he's talking about. Oh, yeah, sound is nice and clear. Okay, sound is nice and clear. Come on in, and then we'll crack on with those little fat robins that we were doing last week. Well, they were fat birds. I've turned them into robins. Nice to have your company. Come on in. Did you have a good weekend? We had a smashing time with Linda Williams and Rob. They came down for a long weekend, and it was really lovely just to do nothing for a couple of days, actually. It doesn't come naturally to Dave or me. But it was great, you know. We just, good conversations, good food. We did go for a walk down to Rye. It was nice, fabulous. Catherine Peace, fabulous weekend. Started doing parchment again. Unpack then, Catherine, eh? Good. Glad to hear it. Nice. Lynn, good to have your company. So come on in, and then we'll crack on with those little birds. We drew them last week, so I thought this week we could transfer them. And I just spent a happy hour just testing some Polychromos. I thought we'd go down that route. I thought it'd be nice to kind of combine that quirky, funky, almost stylized doodle that we've done with some really nice shading rather than cartoony shading. So it's a thought, it's an idea, so we'll take it from there. Do some feathering, hey? So come on in. Yeah, so Grace is snowed in and snowed under in Brooklyn. She sent me a picture, a photograph in the night. She obviously got up because I was concerned, and she sent me a picture, and it looked like broad daylight. It was so light. There was still so much snow in the sky. It looked like broad daylight in the middle of the night. Hi, Ken. Hi, Zara. Great to have your company. Zara, a little bird told me that it's your birthday. You've got a big birthday this week. Is that right? Because if that's the case, then we need to sing happy birthday to you, even if it's a bit early. Zara's birthday. I happen to know that. Yeah, the big one. It's all right. It comes to all of us if we're lucky. The first card is for my birthday. Well, thank you very much, Catherine. You're so kind. There you go. Hello, everyone. Melbourne. Yay. It must be the middle of the night in Melbourne then, is it? Or is it late evening? I never can work that out. Lillian Tilly, you-hoo to you too. Nice to have your company, friends. We'll get started in a moment. Yeah, so they're expecting a blizzard in New York. And Grace is hunkered down. She's going to stay safe. No reason to go out. Hey, no reason to go out when it's like that. Looks pretty, but it's quite treacherous, isn't it? Yeah, looks pretty. She sent me a photograph of a bicycle, a push bike, absolutely covered in snow. Looked very pretty. I wouldn't want to have to ride it, though, through that lot. Morning, Carol. Come on in. 7 p.m. There you go. 9 p.m. 9 p.m., Jenny. That's Australia, is it? God, blimey. 9 p.m. I was going to bed at 9 p.m. last night. Come on in, Debbie. Right, now let's have a look. What did we do last week? Oh, we did something quirky, didn't we? They were real pretty, though. We had a look at these little fellas. Shall we get started? We can always chat while we're going, can't we? Let's have a look. Yeah, I remember now. Right, so we started with these little guys, didn't we? Keep smiling, fake it to make it, and all that good stuff. Right, so we got those. And then we turned them and we drew round. I think I drew round something like that. There you go. That was what I drew round to give myself a circle. And then I did a branch. That was cool. And it's interesting because when you look at them, you can see they're like kind of, they're a cross between a circle and a triangle, aren't they? The shapes. Real easy. If you're new to the party today, then you can always go back to our YouTube channel, Clarity Crafts YouTube, and you'll see the SHAC. And last week will also be stored there. So if you want to catch up and see how we drew the birds, then that's a perfect place to go. Because today we're going to transfer them. I thought that'd be nice. So we'll transfer them onto a bit of stencil card. How do you feel about that? So I've got a bit of stencil card, and we're going to transfer them to a piece of stencil card. And we can use 7 by. I'm going to keep it simple, right? But if we went with if this is 7 by 7, pan out a little bit so you can see it. So this is 7 by 7. So I'm thinking if we did 7 by 5, that might be nicer to handle. Let me just chop that bit off, because that's what I did earlier when I was experimenting. So I'm just going to chop that 2 inches off the side. There you go. So now I've got my 7 by 5, and that will be nice to transfer, you see. So what I've already done is I took this. Let me have a look. Let me just check. Yeah, I took this one, okay, and then I flipped it over and I added, because I thought, I know I've drawn it in that sequence, but it looks just as charming like that. It doesn't matter which way round. So I thought, right, well, I won't waste the transfer, because usually what we do is we take a piece of copy paper, we put it underneath, we transfer, we apply lead, if you like, or graphite to this side, then we flip it, and then we start again and do that side, right? So I thought, nah, I won't waste it. So when I was using my HB pencil to apply graphite to this side, ready for transferring, I already, let me check, that I'll show you. I've already done this bit. I've already flipped it, and I used the transfer process to already give myself a starting place. So now I've got somewhere where I can practice a little bit as well. So yeah, so I did a little bit of colouring already today. Let's come in a bit closer so you can see what I did. So there he is, a bit feathery, right, with his tail feathers. He's pretty cool, isn't he? So, but that's actually the practice. This is my practice piece, you see, because the way I drew it originally, it's actually that way round, isn't it? So what I'll do now is I've already transferred it, already done that job. So to save a bit of time, I'm just gonna, so you could flip yours and do yours now, and I'm gonna reintroduce it the right way around on a piece of 5 by 7. And I just want to make sure that I've got it in the right place, like there. That'd be good. Then I'll stick it down like that. Excuse my head. But there we are. And now I know it's in the right place, you see? And what we did as well was we put flowers in and keep smiling. So you've got plenty of room for all that gubbins as well. There we go. Just like that. So now it's time to transfer the graphite that I used to make that picture. Why waste? Why waste, eh? How are you all? See how you can tell I haven't done anything for 4 days. I'm chomping at the bit. One of the things about being a workaholic is it's very difficult to sit still, isn't it? I don't know if any of you are workaholics. It's a thing. It's a thing. And I think, especially when you're self-employed, because you're always working to cover the costs. You're always making sure that it will be okay, you know. And so to not work, it almost feels like a risk, if that's possible, for a workaholic. You know, I'm a self-professed one. I haven't been diagnosed, but I think you've only got to look at the evidence, really. And it's fine. I accept it. But to stop for 4 days, or 3 days actually, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah, to stop for 3 days and not do anything related to work at all, that was quite a challenge for me. And I had such a good time. By yesterday, I was real chilled, you know, and I even baked a cake. I've never baked a cake. Lovely as well, really good. Yes, it was out of a packet, but, you know, cut me some slack. It was blooming good. It was a German packet, and it was called, if Sonia's in the room, she'll appreciate this, Käse-Sahne-Torte. Say after me, Käse, that's cheese, Sahne, cream, Torte, Käse-Sahne-Torte. And if you've ever been to Germany, it's the one it's sort of sandwiched between 2 bits of sponge, and then the inside is like a really lovely cheese cream mousse almost. It's almost like a mousse. Yeah, I had a fab birthday weekend. Hey, Debbie Lee, many happy returns for your birthday too. Loads of birthday girls here, eh? Cool. Many happy returns, Deb. Yeah, Sonia Goodleaf, yummy, Barbara, send me some. I know. Very nice indeed it was. So it was fun to experiment because I'm not a baker, you know. So for me to start getting the whisk out, my mum had to give me the whisk for me to do it. Yeah. So, but it was good. It was lovely. It was delicious. So we went to a restaurant. We went to a pub for a really lovely roast. And then then when they said, "Can we interest you in desserts?" I'm like, no, desserts in the fridge at home. So that's what we did. We had café en kuchen in the afternoon. Nice, eh? So let's have a look. That's what I got up to yesterday. And the thing is, you know, I suppose it was active. It was an activity, but it wasn't clarity related. And it felt really quite cathartic or freeing to just spend 3 days. I don't remember the last time I spent a weekend not thinking about work or doing work. And usually Dave hit the nail on the head. He said, we have to leave the country to switch off, you know, to disconnect. So that was interesting. Eric Bibb is on tour. He's at hang on a minute. Hold on a minute. I just caught that. Just a second. Bit of info for you. Lynn Muir. Eric Bibb is on tour. Hang on a minute. He's at the Delaware. Is he? On the 11th of March. Got to be written down. 11th of March. That's the night before we go to Madeira. 11th of March. So it might be a little bit of a stretch. That must be a Wednesday then, because we're leaving on the Thursday. We were going to go to Madeira last year, but then we had to push it back because Dave had to have a surgery. And so it falls on my birthday. I know. Madeira. Eric Bibb, what a result. That might be worth just going down there for. I'll talk to Dave after our hour. Thank you so much, Lynn. That's great. Have you heard of Keb Mo? Did I tell you about Keb Mo? So he's, I think I might have mentioned, when we go to, sound like right Globetrotters, when we go to San Francisco in April, Mark's got us tickets to go and see Keb Mo, who is very, very similar in style to Eric Bibb, Lynn. Yeah, fabulous. Saw him live in Brighton with B.B. King decades ago. Fantastic, very handsome young man. Anyhow, let's transfer these birds. I'm gonna lean on a bit of copy paper so that I don't smear. I don't add any smear, and we'll just add these, and then we'll have a look at what do you think of the colouring. I think it came out really nice. So it was a practice. Rather than inking, I thought, let's see if we can use the pencil lines. You know that what we were trying to do? Yeah. So let's have a look. Jane, don't tell me it was your birthday. I am losing the spin here. Everybody's had a great day anyway. Packet cakes are really nice. I think so too, Zara. This one was particularly good. There's a place in London online, and it's called the German Deli, germandeli.com. Okay, and you could go online and you can order stuff, and then it gets sent to you like any self-respecting online company. Except this is really Deutsch. Sonia, you might enjoy this. You can get Teewurst and Fleischsalat and all those lovely things that you know, real German, proper German stuff. Proper Rotkohl, Sauerkraut, and so weiter. Anyway, for Germans, it's lovely. And so what I do is periodically I place an order, and Tilsiter Käse, Harzer Käse, all these things that you can't get even at Lidl's, and then we have a divvy up. Then I go, right, one's for Steve because he loves a lot of the German stuff too, my brother. So I get 3. I buy everything in 3s. One for Mum, one for Steve, one for me, one for Mum, one for Steve, one for me. And then we just eat German stuff for a week. And this packet was from that place. My John always orders it. There you go. So that was Käsesahne Torte, Sonia, was from there, if you fancy having a go. And so was the Quark, the Speisequark. I know. Anyway, come on. Our English friends will be saying, what is going on? I know. Trip down Nostalgia Street. Now, let's just transfer this. I think I'll start over here so I don't run my hand through it on the going back on myself. So I'm just going to relax now, and I'm just using my HB pencil to transfer the line art. Yeah. And then we can have a look at the colouring, can't we? Let's have a look what we've got. It's very relaxing. As soon as you do this, isn't it? Let's have a look, make sure that it's working. Yeah. Good enough. Did I do the eye? Yeah. Okay, next one. I'll do all 3 of them. And then they're good to go. Right. So, yeah, we had a great weekend, actually. It was very nice. And yesterday, it really was, I suppose it takes like 3 days to decompress, doesn't it? To be honest. It does, for me. And don't get me wrong, I mean, you know, when I say I'm a workaholic, that's my own choice. I'm quite comfortable with that. I'm all right with that. You know, I've got it under control. I've got an acceptance around it. You know, I don't mind it. There you go. I don't mind it. What happens is you have to keep your eye on it. That's the thing for me. I can, without realizing it, I can start to spin off, spiral. And that's all I've got to be mindful of, is that I take breaks. I pace myself, especially now. I'm only 66, 67 years old. I've got to take my, that's the only thing, is that I really do have to pace myself a little bit so that I don't burn myself out. But I enjoy my work. Mostly I do. Sometimes it's a bit of a grind, Sometimes it's a grind. You just seem to be pedaling and pedaling and pedaling just to stay afloat. But then, what would you do if you didn't do that? What would you do if you didn't do that, Gray? Pottery, maybe. But I know myself too well. If I didn't do this, I'd be doing something else and building a business off the back of it. I can't just I can't. It's not in me. It's a lifetime of being self-employed, I think. I do. I think that's the crux of it. It's a lifetime of being self-employed that's done this. And that's just a fact. I don't think there's a problem there. It's just recognizing, isn't it? And anybody who is self-employed will completely get me. There. I think that'll do. Let's have a look. Nice. Works for me. Yeah. I'm hoping the weather's going to improve soon, because that's the only thing, is when you work a lot, the weather's not really that crucial. I don't care if the sun's shining or not when I'm working, although it does give you even running between buildings, it feels better not to get soaked. I'll give you that. But now it's starting to get a bit old, isn't it, this rain? It is. Let's have a look. Sunny day in Durham. Ruth, good to have your company. I'm glad. I'm sorry if I miss the chat. I find it quite hard to draw and talk and read, and so I can only do two things at the same time. Now let's have a look. We've got three little birds. Three little birds sat on a window. Corinne Bailey Ray, another great singer. So who watched the BAFTAs last night then? Did anybody watch the BAFTAs? We did. Yep. I'm just tidying up where the lines kind of just reinforcing a little bit so that I know where to draw, where to colour, I mean. Yeah, we watched the BAFTAs. Interesting. All I kept thinking was, a lot of films that I want to watch now. Loads of new films to enjoy. That'll be good. I do like cinema, don't you? There we are. I think first on my list is Hamnet, and So I'm not so keen on all the violent ones. They kind of, you know, I don't know, I find it anxiety inducing. I'd rather be drawing than terrifying myself with a film, to be truthful. And it's funny because Linda and Rob and Dave, they know me well. And as we were watching, they're going, Rob was saying, no, that's not one for you, Barb. No, pass on that one, Barb. And then it got to Hamnet. Do you think I could cope? Yeah, I think you could cope with that one. Yeah. And it's not that my nerves are shot or anything. I've never enjoyed gratuitous violence or head games, or why would you put yourself through that? I still can't believe that I watched Game of Thrones from start to finish. I think it was so extreme that it kind of went over my head. Amazing. Now, let's see. So we've got those birds now, and I was going to suggest that we take a look and we try to do something different. You know, let's do a little bit of bird colouring and get a robin going. I mean, they are kooky shapes, I'll give you that. But I was going to suggest that I'm going to do this little fella here. Okay, let's have a look. But I'll do him over on, what shall I do? I could do him here. And then if I do him here, then you can see this one all the time I'm doing it, can't you? So that might not be a bad idea. So I've got that one for later on. And I've got this one now. And what I'll do is I'll do this little fella on this side. And I'm going to use Polychromos. How do you feel about that? Should we give it a go? It's relaxing, that is, isn't it? Very relaxing. So my Polychromos, let's have a look. I'm going to use boring beige. I'm going to use some of those greys. There's a particularly good red in the other sets that we sell. Light cadmium red. Perfect robin colour. Most of you have got plenty of these, haven't you? I'm going to use the greys, all different greys, and a white. If you've got a Pergamano white, same sketch, they're good. Very good. Okay. And then I'm just going to grab all these different boring ones, like ivory, what's that one? Ivory, yeah, and all the greys. Yeah. And then I do want to use a blending pen. I think I'll use a blending pen. I've got a couple of nibs here. I'll use a blending pen. And the rest are over here if I need them. So basically, primarily, I'm going to be using that set. That set plus a red for his chest. Okay. So how are we? This afternoon at 2 o'clock, I think we've already launched the offer, but we're going to be showing you a new online course that I'm going to be doing in March. It's an introduction to acrylic paint. So it's moving towards that jelly plate again. But I think you've got to get to know your material. Just like now, we'll experiment and we'll try things and do different tricks with the Polychromos. And that'll be similar to with the acrylic paint. You've got to know your material. You've got to know how much you need, how quickly it dries. You know, those are the things that are important before you start with mono printing. You know, you've got to know how it behaves, what happens if you add water, all those things. So we did a course, last summer, we did a course at Ditton, and I'm taking the meat from that course and I'm going to use it in an online course. So people further afield that couldn't attend will be able to enjoy that. It was well received. People really enjoyed that one. So I would say that we'll launch that this afternoon. But we've also got 3 Groovy project workshops. Mine will be an all day on a Saturday. I really like that structure. So we work in the morning, then we take a 2-hour break, and then we come back together in the afternoon. I like that structure. So that's going to be my acrylic paint course. And then Louise is working on 3 individual Wednesday afternoon courses. But we'll tell you all about it this afternoon. And then in addition to that, we're having a little bit of a celebration, and we've made all the other existing courses thus far available at 30% off. And the other key, just in case you don't come in this afternoon, the other thing is that up until now, we haven't been able to apply club discount to the online courses, but now we can. So that's the other thing that we've done. Cool. So that'll be good. This is going to be so. And the thing is, of course, with the courses, if you haven't taken advantage of the existing courses, then now's the time to kind of buy into them, invest in them, and then you can have them ready to go, because you can go and watch them anytime. They're recorded. They're not lives. The live one, the new one, is coming up in March and going forward. But going back, you can now gather up those online courses and put them in your library, ready to watch. It's like having Audible books. You know, when Audible does a sale, I go in and go, well, I'll have that one, that one, that one, that one, and then they're already in my library, ready for when I want to listen to them, basically. So that's something we'll talk about it this afternoon. But it's a new thing, really. 1, club discount on the online courses, 2, 30% on all existing online courses, and then the new ones. Be worth investigating that. And the acrylic paint one, I think, will be, I think it's got to be done in order to move to the next level. You know, it's that precursor. Like we did the alcoholic one, which was very well received. That's in the sale. That one was very well received. And now we've done alcoholing. Now we do acrylic paint, and then we start. Then we're ready to tackle. I think so. Right, let's have a look. So first things first, I'm going to do this little cute one here. So I had a look at the robin, and I looked at where the red is, and I'm going to do the lightest mark around the robin's where I want the red to be. Just the lightest mark. So I can, that's it. That's all I'm going to do. You probably can't even see that. You could use a pencil to do that, right? Because we're not going to rub it out, but that's going to be the red bit here. This is going to be white, and then the rest is going to be grey and feathery, okay? Grey and feathery. So I'm going to go and add a little bit of light grey and white down the bottom to start with, only because. So I'm going to use a number 2 boring beige, I call it, and then I've got another one. I grabbed this one from my set. It's a cold grey one, so it's off-white. If you've got white, that's great too. So you're going for the real light colours, and we're just going to pop a real, actually I'll leave the beige. I'm going to go for the warm beige 2. It's the one, warm grey 2. It's the one that's in your set. And you're just going to go really, really lightly around there, really lightly. And then I'm going to take my white, and I'm just going to add a couple of little feathers. Just a couple of little dashes, dash, 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 dash. I know you can't see them, but they will act as a resist. In fact, I might put a couple of dashes in the red as well, just a bit of texture. And in this, while we've got the white in our hands, let's just put a little bit of white across there. It's easier to put it in now than add it over the top. That'll work. A little bit of white up there. Bit of white in underneath this carriage. Right, see what we've got. Then we're going to take the next colour, which is a little bit warm beige, warm grey. Just add a little bit of warm grey under here as well, just to get it going. So at least it looks like we're doing something, eh? A little bit of warm, just lightly, lightly, lightly. You can hardly see it, but it just gives you something to hang your hat on, really. And you can see when you do this, you can see where you've put the white flashes. Let me see. I wonder if you can actually see that. I wonder if I go in a bit farther. See if we can. I don't know if that's too close. Sorry, guys. I'm going to adjust this and go back out again because it's just not close in that one, and I'm not gonna risk it. So we'll just add a little bit of grey down there. But what I'm saying is, when you do this, you can actually see. You can see the white. The resist. You can actually see it when you go over it lightly with the grey. And the darker the colour that you use to go over, the more the white shows. But it's always good to put that little bit of resist in before you begin. Yeah. And I'm leaving that bit white because I'm not sure yet what I want to do there. Right, so we've got a little bit of white resist under there. Now let's have a look at the red, because we've decided where his bib is. The only important thing, let's take a pencil to do this, is to make a little bit of a ring around his eye. You don't want to go too close. There's a white ring around his eye, and you don't want to go in that white ring. So we'll just add a tiny bit of red, softly, across the whole piece. Tiny, tiny bit of red. Just so that we establish which colours we're putting where. There we go. And let's have a look. Bit of feathering. Right, so we know now that that's the red. There we go. Be pretty. Just light layers. When you're working with Polychromos, you want to work with lots and lots of layers. One layer after another. Little feathery strokes. And what we'll do is, we'll just turn the pencil. If it gets a little bit blunt, then we'll just turn the pencil and it will get sharper again. There we go. I mean, my eyesight's not what it ought to be, but, you know, I could see that this is a robin redbreast anyway. Just little tiny feathery strokes. Let's have a look. Nice. Lighter in that area, a bit darker around here. See, around the edge. So we're just going to give it a little bit more. There we go. It's going to be pretty. There we are. Who's working with me? Anybody doing this with me? I'd like to get in a bit closer, but for some reason, perhaps Paul can come in and help me do this, because it doesn't seem to be set right. The camera's not set right, and I can't get it right. It's just not playing for me. So I've got all the experts, but it's not working very well. So either Paul or Jim, perhaps you could come in and sort this camera out for me. That would be ideal. Good. Good. Paul's come in to do it for me. Thanks, Paul. It's too far away, really. It's not. See, I did all that, but it didn't work for me.
Not crisp, is it?
No, it's not working. I did all that, but it's not working properly. So that's unfortunate. Can you add another?
What about that one?
Was that where I was?
No, I'm coming one closer.
Okay.
Preset that to there.
Is that number 4
That's
now?
number 4. So this was your number 3.
Oh yeah, okay. So this is a bit closer.
And then number 4.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, that's better. Thanks, Paul. Okay. Right, let's try again. So we're just going to light feathery strokes, adding layer on layer of the red. You can see how red we're going to go over on this little fella, but it's just nice to do, really. And just add a little bit. Right, let's get a little bit of a cap going here. Right. And then I'm going feathery here, like that. And what I'll do under here is I'll take a light grey, one of the light greys, and I'm going to meet the red with a light grey. So I'm feathering that way with the grey, and then I'm going to feather that way with the red. So they meet. See? You go that way with the red, and then that way with the grey. So you get a really nice blend. That'll do. Nice. And then up here, I'm going to go with a little grey. I might try a bit of a darker grey. Let's try one of the other darker colours from that pack. Right, here we go. See, one of the other nice things to do is to feather. So we'll do a little bit of that as well. So we'll do a bit of feathering as well. But let's just get a bit of shadow going first. Right, here we go. There we are. So I don't want to spend an age on it, but I just want to kind of give you a couple of tricks and tips. You know, and there are different ways. There are so many different ways to apply polychromos. Some people work from light to dark, like me. Other people work from dark to light. You know, you can run from light to dark. In other words, like here, see, I'm just going in with the feather with a light color, but then I'll intensify it a bit more and a bit more, and added a bit more of a depth. So I go in and I start light and get darker and darker. For me, it seems logical, but I do know that there are people that go the opposite. So let's just add a bit of shadow in behind here. Always light feathery strokes because it's a bird. And in a minute, we're going to go to the actual line art, and we'll give it a really lovely fluffy effect. Okay, so let's just get this. See, I overcooked it a bit on, I felt that his feathers are a bit too dark. So on this one, I'm going a little bit lighter, you see. I felt that one was a little bit too dark. It looks like he's got a parachute on. Oh, well. But I enjoyed doing him. I just felt afterwards, I thought. And what I can do is take my trusted Faber-Castell pencil and knock all that out again. I could just take it all back, and I probably will. But I wanted to just show you. Here we go. So nice feathery strokes. See? So you've got a stroke there. Leave a little bit of white. And where I made those white dashes earlier, they're coming through as a bit of a resist now, which is good. Yeah? So we'll leave it like that. Now, let's see, what have I got here? I've got a nice elfenbein, ivory. So this is nice because it kind of tones down the grey. See, it makes it creamier. That's quite nice. So we put a bit of elfenbein down there, a bit of ivory over the top. And you can make, you know those dashes that we did, the resist, you can add that now. Just get some sharpen it, the ivory, and you can create those little resisty feather bits again. Right, here we go. Just like that. See, so when you go over it with a darker one in a minute, these will be the next layer. It's a bit like printing, really. See, so these now are acting as a resist for the next layer of depth that you do. We'll just put these in here. The red's nice, isn't it? I hope you can see this okay and it's not too fuzzy. Is it my eyes or is this a little bit fuzzy? It could be my eyes. Right, let's have a look. Is it my eyes? Let's put a little bit of red down here. Okay. I think it's my eyes. Right. Now, let's see what we've got. Steps back, has a look. Quite nice. So we've got a little bit of depth. I think I want to add a little bit of shade here around the back there. Just sweeping backwards and forwards. There we go. Nice. And then those legs, they've got those little triangular bits there, haven't they? This is pretty. Less is definitely more on the shading, I think. Okay. In a minute, we're going to take a break and make sure that your neck isn't getting too stiff. There, that's looking good. Right, just add a little bit of down feather there. Yeah. There, and then we can take that ivory and we can add a little bit more resist there as well, if you choose to. See, it's changing the colour a little bit, isn't it? But then when you go over it with the grey, you'll see you get a lovely contrast. Right, now let's have a look. I think what would be good, I'm going to pan out and then I'm going to pan back in because I'm not happy with this camera. It's just not doing it for me today, unfortunately. It's coming a bit closer. And then I'm going to go to manual. Let me see. This isn't working for me. Manual. Oh. Manual. No, it don't want to play, does it? It's rubbish. Now, unfortunately, there's not much I can do about this, friends. I apologise. Right. Okay. So let's have a look at the legs. To do the legs, you can see they're very thin and the beak as well. So I'm going to go in with a darker colour because I'd only get one run at this, at the legs. So I want to use, I'm going to use the Payne's Grey and I'm going to make sure that it's nice and sharp. And I'm just going to run that leg, make sure it's the right, that's it. And I'm just going to go once, that's it, and once. And then we're just going to add the pencil there. There we go. You see, I just want to make sure that that's right. And then the underside of the beak, just that little tiny there. Don't want to go too far because it's easy to add it, but it's not so easy to take it away, you know. Now let's just get that height on the beak. That's it. And I'm just going to get some depth on those little triangles there. Nice. And I won't smear my hand through it. I'll use my brush. Yeah, that's it. And I just want to add the feet. Just a couple of little legs. Right, now I'm in the Payne's Grey department. So I'm looking at the eye. Right, eye. Let's go slowly on the eye. So I want to go white around the outside. Let's do that. Let's have a look. Okay. White around the outside like that. I'm just making a little white ring. I can always tone it down afterwards. But I just want to make that white without having to use a Posca pen or something. Right? So I've got my white. Now I'm going in with my black. Now, let's go one little flick at a time. Bring it out to the white a little bit. See? You're going to leave that little bit of white there. And you want it to be as sharp as... This is where you really go lightly, lightly, lightly. Can you believe it's already 10:02? Wow. There we are. Nice. Very subtle, but it's easier to do it like this than... I'm going to take this pencil here. It's easier to go really, really lightly, you see? It's pretty, very pretty. And I like the little undercarriage here, this little bit here. I like the way the feather... Now, what we can do, let's try this then. Right, this is all an experiment. This is for test. Let's try this now. If we wanted to do a little fluff, like feathery fluff, you're going to cut across the actual line art. Just a tiny little bit, look. So you flick, 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 lightly, 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 all the way across the actual... It's really cool, actually. Just a tiny little bit. And with his, even with his red feathers, tiny, you're almost not touching the paper, but just the tiniest little bit. If you want to do it across his feather, his body, you start further back, and then you just flick, and you literally, you lift off before you get to... You'll see when you do this. You lift off before you get to the edge, and then you're just breaking that edge. It makes a big difference. Just tiny, tiny, tiny little marks. Let's have a look. That's cool. Nice, eh? Looks like it's got big eyelashes, this one. Elf Barbara. Right, let's take that light grey and break into the red just to tone that down a bit. There you go, that tones it down nicely. This tones this down nicely. So you're just going to take your greys, just work your pencils to get that shadow. Here we go. So I'm going to come in on this edge here. Got a lovely little flick round the back, so it's a bit feathery. Nice. And then this quirky tail feather, I'm going to go with the light grey. I'm going to flick through there, and then I'm going to flick the other way, so that I've got like a feather, really, really light. Okay, and then round the other way. And then I would let's take ivory, just to break up the colour a bit. And then we'll go, again, really lightly in there like that. Just changes the colour, tones it down a bit from the white. See? And you just go tiny little flicks. Tiny little flicks, but it breaks, see how it breaks up that line? It's cool. Now I'm going to go for a slightly darker one. Okay, this is where I have to go in sharp and I have to go in very lightly. So I'm just going to go in, which one's this now? Cold grey 3. Okay. Tiny little feather strokes. especially at this end where it's thicker, at the base. And if you do this in 3 layers, it will end up looking like down. I don't know if you ever followed me when I did the owls, but that was using this trick. And in the end, it just looked like a down, which is what we're trying to achieve here. Really soft effect. There you go. That looks good. That looks really good. Bit of depth down there. And always remember, if you overcook it, or you think, oh no, I made that too dark, it's too severe, then you take your trusty friend. You've got two steps. You take your blending pen. The blending pen works really well for blending out colours. This is really nicely done, right? But if you blend it just gently, it will tone it in beautifully, especially these bits, right? Just literally go over it and it just pushes the pigment around. So that works really nicely. Love the little legs. I'm going to keep that depth on the legs, you see? And then the other thing, of course, is that if you really want to lift the colour because you feel you did too much, then you take your Faber-Castell eraser pencil, which I had in front of me. Let me just have a look. Got it somewhere. I had 2 of them, just to be sure. And now I can't find one of them. Ain't that the truth? Here it is. There we are. See, on this one, for example, if I feel I've got too much colour at that top edge, so I'm just going to take that out, lift the colour out just lightly. Look. Take the pink. I can lift that colour out and I can put a highlight on there. See? See how it's changing it? I'm using the pink end. And even though I've buffed this and highlighted it, look, I can go in, I can take that whole lot out again. See, so I really like working with Polychromos. We do 4 sets, don't we? We do spring, summer. I did a really nice collection of spring, summer, autumn and winter. And this is pretty much what, oh, hello, wrong thing. It's exactly what I'm using at the moment. See how that's changing that? So I've just left a little bit of, see, just take the edge out there. Leave a little bit of, so even though that was a bit too much, hey, now he looks like his mate. That was too dark, see? That's better. Interesting how you can change it so perfectly, you know, so easily. And then the leaves, well, how about we finish this up next week? So that gives you a chance to do a little bit of practicing with the light grey pencils and the feathering. And the only other thing that I will say, right, which gives you a really nice texture, if you take, let's take that beige grey, right? And if you wanted to, this might not be ideal for a robin, but it does work well. If you just add a little bit of stippling, instead of shadow, along that edge there. Just a little bit to the left and the right, left and right, left and right. It looks so nice. Cool. So I wonder, I don't know if this camera's on. Yeah, let's just see. If we hold this up to this camera, let's see if we can see that now. Yeah? So I think you get the picture. There's loads to do here, right? And that third one, we'll do that, and then we'll do the grass next week, and then that'll be done. And the only thing that I want to flag up before I love you and leave you, this is what's going on this week here. So 10 o'clock, that's us today. Then we've got 2 o'clock, we're launching the new workshops. at Tuesday. We've got Groovy Tuesday with Louise, and then in the afternoon we're going to be entertaining you, keeping you company again for another hour. Now on Wednesday, Paul is up at Hobby Maker from 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock. He's got a 2-hour show there. And then on Friday, we've got 10 o'clock. We're going to be working together at 10 o'clock. This is a really important show because it's where we launch the new product of the month, and it's a very exciting time of the month for us. So we'll be saying goodbye to February and hello to March. So that will be on Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then on Sunday the 1st we'll have our usual 2-hour show from 2 to 4 with myself and Paul, and we'll be showing you, we'll be launching some beautiful new Japanese bird rounds. So that'll be at 2 to 4. But do tune in this afternoon for those online courses. That offer only runs for a couple of days, and it will only be once this year. That's it. So this is the opportunity. We won't be doing this again. This is the annual sale on our courses, and then on Sunday, on Friday we'll be launching the new product of the month, which is very good. And today's the day. Any orders going out from today, the new newspaper, the March newspaper, will be heading. It will be winging its way to you. So, and that's a good one. It's a double pager. I worked hard on that one. So enjoy your day, and I'll see you at 2 o'clock. Lots of love. Bye-bye now. Thanks, Paul. Thanks a lot.